everybody, and welcome to Storm Raids. And today I'm going to be talking about what I've read during the week of from Saturday the 16th to or Sunday the 16th to Saturday the 22nd. And sorry if you can hear my air conditioner, but it's 81 degrees and it's so hot up here that I had to turn the air on. I'm sweating over here in this little corner of it with even the air conditioner on, so it gets a little hot up here. Anyway, hopefully it's not too noisy and troublesome. And so anyway, I didn't read a whole lot of books this week compared to the other weeks, but I still read quite a bit. I believe I read, let's see, I think I read 7 books, so, wait, no, 6 books. I read 6 books. I'm working on one, and I don't need to count that one. I'm not done yet. So, yeah. So I'm just kind of going to give you a little bit of a rundown on what I read, because I am still trying to do the book a day in May, and so far I'm doing pretty good. I am up to, let's see, I'm up to 24 books, and today's the 23rd, so I'm like 1 book ahead. So I am doing pretty good. I wish I was a little bit more ahead, but oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, I read 4 4-star books and 2 3-star books, so that's not too bad. I think I had a couple of urban fantasies, a couple of mysteries, a horror, and a paranormal romance. So I even mixed it up a little bit this week. It's not all mysteries or something like that. And so the first one I'm going to talk about is An Easy Death by Charlene Harris, and this is Gunny Rose number 1. I attempted to read this one on ebook probably when it came out, and I don't know, I read like maybe half of it, and then I got sidetracked and I quit, and I just never went back to it. It wasn't really because I didn't care for it, maybe it just wasn't something that was hitting me right at the moment. And on Hoopla, they're having these bonus borrows where you can borrow a book without it taking one of your borrows. So it's like an extra borrow. And they had this book in audio, and it was a movie in your mind, dramatic version with various narrators, and it had a lot of sound effects and things like that. And I thought it was pretty cool. And it's about Elizabeth Road, who is a gunny in an altered America, and she has a pretty good reputation of being really good at her job, and she gets hired by a couple of Russians wizards who are wanting her to help them locate a man. That they need this man because the Russian Tsar, he has a blood condition of some sort, and they need to find this guy so they can get some of his blood or whatever. And they don't tell her that, you know, there might be people chasing after them and everything, and so they get in some good firefights and guns blazing, and it was really kind of cool on the audio because it had like all the sound effects. It was kind of cool. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know why I quit it back then, except for the fact that maybe it wasn't a book I was in the mood for at that moment. But I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. And then the next book is Buttercream Bump Off by Jen McKinley, and this is Cupcake Bakery number 2. And I thought the first one was okay, and so I wanted to go ahead and give another one a try. And I did enjoy this one, and it's about Mel's mom who goes on a date with somebody that she doesn't know, almost pretty much like a complete stranger, and she ends up, they were supposed to be getting in the hot tub or whatever, and she goes to change, and she comes back and the guy's dead. And so she's a suspect, and so of course Mel's got to figure it out, and she has Angie, her friend and co-owner of the bakery, is trying to help her out. This one has a lot of relationship drama that was a little overkill. The whole fact that Angie is in love with Tate, but Tate is too stupid to notice, and he's like their best friend. But Angie thinks that Tate's in love with Mel, but he's not. And Mel doesn't like him that way. and everything. I mean, there's that thing going on, and then Angie decides to date this one guy, and then it makes Tate mad, and he's jealous. And Mel's trying to say, figure it out for yourself why you're jealous of this other guy. And then there's the relationship with Mel and Joe, I think that was his name. And the fact that they never can seem to get together. Like, every time he comes over, he's working a really big case, and he always ends up falling asleep on them. And so it seems like everybody in town knows about her sex life or lack thereof because he always falls asleep. And it was just a little much for the cozy mystery. But the mystery in itself and the people in the mystery, I enjoyed. And I mean, I gave it 4 stars because I did enjoy it. It's just a tad bit too much relationship drama. But hopefully the next one won't be so bad, but I don't know. I hate when we have all these different guys and triangles and mishmashes and things in my cozy mysteries. It really irritates me. Anyway, moving on. The next one I read is Blood Air by Iona Andrews, and this is Aurelia Rider #1. It's a spin-off from the Kate Daniels series that I absolutely love, and I really like Julie from Kate Daniels, and so I was interested in trying this out. And it's been 8 years since Julie left Atlanta, and we find out, that she's been working with her grandmother on the magic that she has in her, because I can't say why or how or anything about the magic, because then that would be spoilers for the Kate Daniels series. So, but she does have this magic, and so she's trying to learn how to use it. So she had spent all her time there, but then she gets a prophecy from her friend who is an oracle, and I think her name is Serena or Sienna or something like that. And she tells her there's this prophecy about this one, he's a godlike thing or whatever, and he wants to attack Atlanta or whatever. I can't remember exactly what the prophecy is, but anyway, it could kill Kate Daniels, and that's her mother or adopted mother, and so she's trying to figure out how to alter the prophecy, and she's been working on that for several years, and now it has taken her to actually Atlanta. She has to go back, but she cannot have any contact with Kate or Curran or any of them, because if she does, they die. So she's got to try to stay away from them. She looks different because of some things that she has done. She has altered her appearance, so people don't know who she is, even though they do see her. There's only a certain few that have figured out like who she was because of their magic, or sometimes you can alter yourself, but you can't alter your mannerisms or things like that. And so she has been figured out, but Kate and them don't know that she's there. And so she's trying to find out who killed this priest and everything, and there's some kind of artifact that she's needing to find that this Moloch, I think that's his name or something like that, is wanting, and so she's trying to find it, and she's got to fight all these baddies and she's trying to alter the prophecy and everything. And it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It was a little bit different than Kate Daniels, and I felt like I missed a lot in the 8 years between the Kate Daniels series and the Blood Air book, because something happened to Derek, because I always knew he was a big bad werewolf, but he had some kind of magic, and so what happened there, all of a sudden they're like talking to Roland, who was, I'm pretty sure, trying to kill them in the last of the Kate Daniels book and everything. And so it's like, what all has happened to, they all seem to be one big happy family now. And so I'm sure there's probably like some .5s or point this or whatever, like novella books that might have some of that stuff in it. I do know there is a Derek book that's a .5 something or whatever. I just don't want to pay $1.99 for 64 pages. But I know there is one, so maybe if I can find it somewhere. But yeah, I liked it. Like I said, 4 stars. Then for the Killing Time with Cozy's book club, we read Death Becomes Her by Nancy Coco, and this is Oregon Honeycomb Mysteries book number 1, and this is about Ren, who owns a shop called, I think it's called Let It Be, and she owns her own beehives. They're actually in the shop, which is kind of cool, and she makes all of her products, her candles and lip balm and things like that, all from the beeswax and stuff like that. And one day she's walking her cat. Yes, I said walking her cat on a leash. And she discovers a woman on the beach, and she's dead. And she also discovers that she is clutching one of Ren's lip balm labels. And so that she gets found there with the body, and it's the label, and so now she's of course going to be the number 1 suspect. And it was okay. I do think that Ren kind of annoyed me a lot in this one, just because it seems like people were trying to tell her to stay safe, don't do this, there's somebody out there trying to set you up, but yet she would go ahead and do things anyway. I always often wondered if she actually worked in her store, because she didn't seem to be there very often. I did, but at the same time, I enjoyed it. It was okay. I mean, it's not a new favorite or anything like that, but all books don't have to be favorites to be enjoyable, and I liked it. I gave it 3 stars. I did like the cat Everett, and I did like the characters. I liked Portia, which was her friend, I think, or sister, one of the two, and her, and I liked the policeman, and I even liked the lawyer. I thought he was kind of cool. I mean, he was trying to keep her out of trouble and things, and it did have things in it that were a bit different than a normal cozy. The ending, even though you thought the ending was going one way and you're like, oh, well, that was too easy, it did have a little bit of a twist at the end, so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I will continue with the series when the next one comes out, but this just was only 3 stars for me. Then I read Off Season by Jack Ketchum for the TBR and Beyond horror group that we have. We read a horror book every month, and this one we were doing kind of extreme horror, and I don't know if it's because I've read too much horror and watched too much that I am just like really desensitized, because I do believe this would, if it was read when it first came out, it was probably a really disturbing, grotesque, and icky book about cannibals, but I just thought it was kind of boring. There was no character development. I mean, they were just really flat characters. You didn't know anything about them, so you didn't really care if they died. I mean, they ripped out of a window. Okay, there went one. There went another one. You didn't really care. I mean, you don't get any kind of development of the characters, so they're just really one-dimensional. And this is originally from 1980, and I did think it was interesting that the author said that in 1980 he had to go back and forth with the editor because they wanted him to take out a bunch of the stuff that he had in his book before they would publish it. So the 1980 version is a lot different. The extended, like, uncut version that I listened to, there was some gross things in it, but it just was kind of a slow book, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, that was gross, but I guess, I don't know, it just didn't affect me like it probably might some. I know it is disturbing, and I know I should be disturbed, but I don't know. So I just gave it 3 stars because I just thought it was kind of mediocre. It was okay. The ending, now, I know in the early version, I think the ending was different, and he put the ending back how he wanted it in this one, and I can understand why he wanted it that way after, reading his, or listening to his afterword that he had, but at the same time, I didn't like it. But, I read it. It was okay. 3 stars. And I don't even think I told you what it was about, but it's about these this group in a cabin in the woods, and then there's this family of cannibals that live out there, and they attack them, of course, and then, you know, havoc ensues and stuff like that. Anyway, the last book that I read for the week is The Hexed by Heather Graham, and it's Crew of Hunters book number 13. I can officially check off another one off of my series about series books that I have, because that was one that I was wanting to get done. And this one, it has at the beginning about Rocky, who found a body of a classmate whenever he was like 17. And the reason he found the body is because he heard her voice, because he can see ghosts. And now he's an adult, and he is getting a job with the Crew of Hunters, and they're specifically wanting him to send him back home to where he's from, because there are some more there's another death that is kind of similar to the one from whenever he was young. And so, of course, he's really wanting to now figure out what happened, since now he is part of this special unit. And he meets Devin, and she can also see ghosts, and she's living in, I think she's one that found the other body or something. And, yeah. I just listened to it, and I still can't, it flies right out of there. But it has a lot to do with the Salem witch trials, and how that affected back then the murder and the present day murder. Because it always does that. It always has like a historical murder or something that happened that has something to do with what's happening in the present day. And I will say that I couldn't figure out who done it, so I thought that was pretty good. But, you know, most Heather Graham Crew of Hunter books are very formulaic and everything. They're all the same, sort of. I mean, you've got the FBI or whatever he is, the Crew of Hunter guy, or the sheriff, or somebody who's going to eventually be a Crew of Hunter guy. And then you have the other one who can see ghosts or things like that, or whatever, and they come together in a romance. And so, I mean, they're very formulaic, but I really like them. And I'll tell you, the reason I probably like it the most is because I love the narrator, Luke Daniels, and he could just speak to me all day long. He could probably read a phone book to me and I would be fine. So I love listening to these on audio, because I just like to listen to Luke Daniels. And so it doesn't bother me how formulaic it is. I like it. And so I gave it 4 stars, because they're just comfort reads. And so that's all the books that I've actually read. And so books that I'm reading is Bloodlike Magic, of course. I am still reading this, and I don't think I've gotten much further than the last time I told you about this. I'm just not really into it. I'm hoping it gets better, but it's been really slow. The main character is, I don't know, she's wishy-washy, and she just needs to make up her mind. And I know that the decision she has to make is really big, but I mean, it's not a spoiler because it's even on the back, but she fails her calling. And the reason she fails her calling is because she's wishy-washy and she couldn't make a decision. And that's why she fails. And so now she has this other decision, because she's asked to be able to do it again. She'll, you know, do anything. And, well, now her bloodline's magic is on the line. But she still has to make a decision. And I just want to reach in and smack her. And, I don't know. It's just not really appealing to me right now. I hope it gets faster paced and something happens later. But as of now, I pick up other things besides this one. So. And then another book that I'm reading is The Last Fallen Star by Gracie Kim. And this one is actually another witchy book. So I got 2 going, but go figure, I prefer the middle grade over the young adult one. I am about 41% into this one. It's a Rick Riordan Presents. I got it as an ER2 review. And I'm liking it. It's about Hattie and Rye. They're sisters, but Rye is adopted. and she has been told all of her life that she is not a witch. She doesn't have any witch powers because she was adopted. She's a serum, I think that's what they call them, and everything. And well, they find out that there's this spell that they can do to share their magic. Haiti can share her magic with her sister, and things don't go quite as planned, and so Hattie is now in like an unconscious coma thing, and Rye has to try to find the last fallen star and give it to the goddess so that she can get her sister back, and she has been promised that she could have the same kind of magic too if she does this. And so it's an adventure kind of thing, and it's a little witchy, and it's just way more interesting than Bloodlike Magic. So I've been reading it instead of that one. And also the audiobook that I am listening to, I'm almost done. I think I have like an hour and 15 minutes left of it, and that's Murder on Lexington Avenue by Victoria Thompson. And this one is, I should have wrote it down. I think it's number 12, 11 or 12 or 13, somewhere around in there, of the Gaslight Mysteries, and it's one of my favorites. I really love it. I love to listen to it on audio, and I am a little upset that it has a different narrator now, but I'm getting used to her, and she's not too bad. And I can't remember what her name is, but she's not too bad. And this one is about Frank Malloy is called to a scene of a crime. There's a murder of a person who works with the deaf, and since his son is deaf, they bring him in. And when he was, I never can describe things very well. I can't get it out of my mouth. When he goes to talk to the wife and everything, finds out that she's pregnant, and nobody knew she was pregnant because it probably wasn't her husband's, it was this younger guy's. And so he ends up calling in Sarah Brandt because of course she's the midwife, and she's always the one in the middle of solving his crimes anyway, so might as well bring her in. At least he trusts her, so he brings her in to help with the baby, and he also kind of uses her because she has an in with them to help him figure out what's going on. And I'm really liking it, and I will probably be finishing it after I get off of here. And then the books that I have coming up, a couple of them are these. I got 2 cozies that I need to get done. I need to get them back to the library. I've already renewed them like once, but I'll probably get the audiobook for this one, Lethal Licorice by Amanda Flowers. It's the second book in the Amish Candy Shop series, and I've been holding on to it, and I really just need to get it done and read. And I can't find an audio for this one anywhere, and so I'll have to read this one. And this one's Murder Past Due? Yeah, Murder Past Due by Miranda James. It's the first book in the Cat in the Stack series. And so yeah, I really need to get these done so that I can get them back to the library. And I'm sure there will be others that I'll be reading, because I will probably have more audiobooks, and I have another ebook that I need to get to. But yeah, this is going to be enough to probably carry me through the week anyway. And so that's everything I have for this video, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.